I even
There
updated.
you go.
I
Hold
updated
on.
drivers the last time. I don't know. Maybe this is old and the graphics card for generations old now, technically. All right, you're gonna. Yeah, I don't know if that's a sign that. Well, I know I'd love to get a different graphics card, um, something newer. It'd have to be used, but there's just so many shortages.
Oh,
If Gold's still in, he'll know what I'm talking about. He probably
um,
follows it.
um, speaking of that, you remember I was telling you a few weeks ago that I kept getting a message about my graphics card had a known issue.
Right.
Well, Fortnite, after the update this week, um, they had I don't think it was them, but somehow it is like gave me the message about it and redirected me to the NVIDIA site to get updated on the
Yeah.
driver.
Well, and see,
So
I
so I
was
so I
updated.
got it updated this week. I don't think I have any issues. I mean, I've only really tried it like one or two nights for a little short bit, but
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard for me to say what my issue is. Um, at the moment.
well, well, this it shouldn't be the game because the game isn't very
No, it's not
taxing.
the game. Oh, why is my camera's not working? Which I guess doesn't really matter, but huh, maybe it needs to. I mean, my camera's old and all that too. That could be a little bit of the issue. Yeah, it's not. Hmm, it's not working either. Oh, there we go. That's all right. That did it. I don't know. Sometimes just gotta screw with things a little bit. Okay. Ah, there we go. Finally, it might be close to actually playing the game. We'll see. Come on there. Oh. Okay. Tractor should just be randomly in the field. Let me get to it. Come on. Oh, you up? Yep. Oh, come on. Tell me I'm not stuck in a tree. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Uh, here. Okay. Well, if I'm drop out of the game or something, well, you'll know I blue screened again for some reason.
Yeah.
Um, I will say my CPU and GPU is a lot higher than normal, but I guess that's probably because I'm trying to pump more bitrate out, and it's not hitting all the frames. Maybe I need to turn it down just a little more. Yeah, I'll run it for a while here. Yeah, well, with the crashing though, tells me maybe might be it could be a lot of things, but since I did update the NVIDIA drivers, because there was an update and it still did it again, I'll have to see if that's what the same crash was. It looked different actually, but if that's it might be my hardware's wearing out. I mean it. And my GPU. I was looking at what was I looking at? Oh, I know. Okay, yeah. Well, now that I'm on and we can talk a little, I had the day, or I took the day off for installing this new, or they installed this fiber internet and such, which I kind of told you that was happening. Well, that happened on Monday. So I took the day off for that because I didn't know kind of how long they were going to take. It didn't take as long as I thought. They haven't buried it yet. They'll come back to
Yeah.
do that. Um, but
Oh, they're doing it the opposite because mine they buried and then
and then hooked
installed.
you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
In this case, I would have waited too, but they're like, no, we'll come and we'll just run it across. It'll just be on the ground from the box, which is in somebody else's yard, 3 houses down. um,
But,
and then so it's just run, like along a fence or whatever, and then they come in and I'm like, okay, like, are they gonna have to bring in like a ditch witch essentially or something? It's like, well, maybe, but it says a lot of it's done just by hand with a shovel, because they don't go down
uh,
very
well,
far.
so mine they had this like tool that was kind of by hand, and they just dug it in the ground and routed it through.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've seen like ones where it's kind of like a big knife.
Yeah, they called it a plow.
Yeah, I mean, I say a ditch witch, but I mean, because that's a brand, um, but yeah, I've seen it like where it kind of like knifes it in, sort of, but where there's all these obstacles and stuff, um, uh, I can tell they're gonna have to do some by hand. But anyway, um, I think I could have waited, but see, they were doing this was part of a kind of a first mover kind of promo deal because they were signing up a bunch of people to off basically to make it worth their cost to give away the installation for free. Because I think I told you, um, I looked at this like 2 years ago or something. They put a door hanger on, and normally I just throw those in the trash, but I actually, fiber internet, and then I kind of called about it. It's like, well, all right, it was going to be like $1,500 or something to install it to the house if I wanted it then. Well, they were blanket in the area, and well, actually, I wasn't home, and normally I don't, I tell solicitors to take a hike, but Katie was home, but she remembered, I that I'd kind of talked about. She's like, you know what, come back at this time and talk to my husband, rather because normally she would blow him off too, but she remembered I kind of wanted, well, listen to his spiel, and it's like free free equipment too, which you normally have to rent. Well, if you want their Wi-Fi thing, you would rent it, but in this case it's free, and the installation was free. That was the main thing. Um, so I'm like, and then when he said the price, and it's quote for life, whatever that really means, but maybe future proof some price increases. But anyhow, I'm like, well, yeah, let's just let's do it. You kind of I'd pay in this case, it's $80 a month, so just had to pay the 80 up front, and if I changed my mind, I could have got that refunded if I got cold feet leading up to the day. But I'm like, no, I've been wanting to kind of get away from Comcast just because they've gotten enough money from me over the years.
Well,
Well,
I mean, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing that I was in, because
and I'm getting better speed. Way better.
I was kind of pissed off at my company too.
Yeah, I've always been pissed off, but they were to the house, they're the only, other than DSL, and you know what that is. That's just one step removed from dial-up, because it's over the phone line. Anyway, I basically, I guess the only reason I was really always kind of irked and pissed, and is just because they were the only reliable choice, because like you, I mean, you had your line of sight. I could have line of sight, but there's, for me, it would have been barely on the edge. And I know we talked about this. And so, but this is, again, 8 times the service. And it's mostly this upload speed that I'm able to do. So it, and it looks like I might have been pumping too much for Twitch, is why we were having to, because I should have read up and saw what their recommended bit rates is, and I know Twitch's is like lower than YouTube for some reason, if I remember right.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because I heard this week, and I haven't done any checking into it, that Twitch is going to was it Twitch, or was it, they were going to change the way that I thought it was Twitch. They were going to change the way, so like Streamlabs would have to do the encoding, not Twitch themselves. And the reason why they were going that way is so that Twitch could be like YouTube in how, I guess basically what I was told was, when this change happens, Twitch will be able to handle 4K.
Right. And
streaming.
You know what? That's why it was fucking up. Because now that you just said that, I was trying to, and I forget, I looked up, there's a chart you can look up online, if you just Google it. I was trying to pump out, I mean, it's still just HD, it's just till 1080, but I was trying to pump out bit rates that would be closer to 4K, and that's probably why it wasn't displaying. And that's probably why you could hear audio but no video, because I was sending too much to them. That makes 100%. Now I'm glad you said that, because that was probably what was happening at the beginning of the stream.
They're gonna change that. They're gonna put it so that the encoding is on Streamlabs and OBS.
Yeah,
but they haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
from what I understand.
Well, and speaking of Streamlabs, I got it working, and or down. I I uninstall it, reinstall, because they probably had some updates. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just start with a fresh install. But I'm not using it, mostly because I couldn't get, and this is why I need to make a decision here. I couldn't figure out how to get Restream to work as one of the outputs. I could do one or the other, connect. Well, and I tried to connect to, my YouTube or whatever, so I could get access to some other of the free features, like when you're logged in with Streamlabs. And that's why I was hoping Gold would be able to stick around in my chat Just because
But he might
I
still
know
be
he's
around
using
because
I know he's using OBS, but he was talking about he had a friend that used Streamlabs, but then is just recently switching. And that's the thing. Maybe I might. I mean, look, OBS has been working for me for 10 years or whatever, almost however long I've been using it, which is a long time. But I kind of like the themes. I was looking at some of the features and some of the stuff you're talking about, and I like some of the themes. So I was screwing around with a theme, some overlays and some stuff like that. Um, and I was going to use it, and I was going to try it out this time, but I couldn't get Restream to work. Like I'd enter but it wasn't selectable as that's the output I want.
yeah, no, it was when I was using it, and I haven't no in a few weeks, but when I was using it, you had to kind of put it in as an other.
Well, that's what I did, but then it wouldn't. It would. It's like it would save it and look like it's there, but then it wouldn't. It kind of like wouldn't. It wouldn't let you choose it when you wanted to go live. So so yeah. Well, and see, I'm using now. See, I don't know. You got the software, like you downloaded it, and it's like the desktop app, right? That you're using.
For Streamlabs.
Yeah, for Streamlabs. Or do you
Yeah.
go to the web? Okay. Yeah, I'm using
No, I
it.
don't. I don't go to the web. I got a desktop app.
Okay, good. Well, that's what I thought so, but I got to thinking, well, maybe you're doing a little different because it like integrates with the web part too. That's why I was trying to like log in. I even created a Streamlabs account because I'm like, oh, okay, then I can download themes and stuff. But I just couldn't get it working with Restream. And here's the deal: maybe I should. I'm. It's not like I'm not. I'm not getting much traction on Twitch because I'm not like you. I'm not on a schedule, and Twitch really likes, Twitch viewers, I should say, like a schedule.
Mm-mm.
So maybe I should just focus on YouTube, but and just scrap Restream altogether. I just always kind of like the idea of going at two places at once, and where
Yeah.
and where it's gaming, Twitch is a little more well, I don't know if I want to say discoverable, but presumably get more interaction on Twitch. But it's like, well, maybe I should just focus on YouTube and just send OBS or Streamlabs, whichever software I decide to keep moving forward with. Just do one or the other kind of thing.
Hmm.
And I haven't really. And that's the thing, I haven't really decided. It's like, well, maybe we should be doing this on my second channel. I kind of used to do that, but it's like I got like 100 subs over there, and I don't know that people find it. But then I don't really get much interaction on my main channel because it's not what people come for.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I
Well,
again
but so
again
you
I'm
wouldn't be,
it's
you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't be because those the scammer paybacks and scammer revolts. They both run gaming channels and they run them on a second channel.
Yeah. Well, and that's what you should do. Like I shouldn't do what I'm doing. But I mean, it doesn't seem like it's hurting anything either. So,
Yeah.
oh, I couldn't get that whole triangle there. Let me.
Okay. And then we got another field when you're done with that.
Okay, yeah, I just gotta get this
But it
triangle.
won't. But it won't take us as long.
Okay, well, this wouldn't have taken as long as it did, but I was farting around with
No, but
my.
I mean, this is a for two of us with these big chisel plows. They're not gonna.
Oh, I see what you
It's
mean. Is it the
it's not
one
gonna
down
take long.
across the road?
It's no. It's just down on the other side of
Oh,
these
other the
trees.
house. Okay. Oh, that's right, because that's where you harvested before, right? I remember
Yeah.
now.
We're still waiting on the corn harvest.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like this map, there isn't the contracts like we have on other maps.
So I don't know. I haven't. I Streamlab, just figuring out how to operate it is a little bit to getting used to, but it's not, you know, hard.
See, and that's why.
And but
That's
I
so,
like some of the
so.
features. I gotta say, because I they kind of, I guess you'd say, kind of sort of automated a few,
Yeah,
or not automated, made it more like point and click for setup.
yeah.
I guess that
Well, that's what.
like templates. I guess maybe that's what I'm saying. Kind of.
That's why I went to Streamlabs because I tried both of them, and um, I tried both of them, and Streamlabs was more like what I was used to when I first
Did
started out on
Mixer.
Mixer.
Yeah. Well, no, I see,
And
and
it
I see
wasn't
that now.
and it wasn't that I couldn't get used to OBS because I felt like I could if I used it, but it was just not familiar to me as when I finally pulled the trigger and made the decision. It was like it just wasn't completely familiar enough to me. It's like,
No, it is a
but the
little
more I used
more.
it, it would have been fine.
It no, I totally understand what you mean. It is a little more like you have to understand, like, a little, I don't want to say like programming, but you have to understand a little bit of the technicalities of what you're doing. Um, and actually, Streamlabs has all that granularity too. It's a little more buried. Like they have their presets set up. It's like, this is what will work for most situations, kind of thing. But I was
Yeah,
liking the templates and things, which are because like it's people. I mean, there's, if you got to subscribe to get the good ones, or whatever.
yeah,
Um, but and you can do all that in OBS, but you have to, you have to make the graphics yourself, and then you have to, you have to. There's a, it's not as drag and drop, I guess, to make that stuff look good. I guess. And I guess that's what is sort of drawn me to it a little bit, is just a, so I could put, I got this little, I guess you'd call it like a crawl of like, buy my merch kind of thing, spinning there.
yeah,
I mean, I had to make that as kind of like a, first as a pretty much like an animated GIF, and then have it as like a video source or whatever, and yeah. Whereas Streamlabs, it just, that option is just kind of there. You just kind of put it in. I guess you could say.
yeah.
So I don't know if I'll 100% switch, but once I kind of get it set up, I will see. Again, I wish Gold was in here just so he could give his 2 cents, because I was watching the stream and and he was chatting about things, and then I kind of brought up, I couldn't remember if he was using Streamlabs or OBS, and he uses OBS. But he mentioned a friend had Streamlabs, and I told him, I says, well, that's what you use and you love. But he says, hey, he just switched from Streamlabs because he was having like some kind of issues with it, like it was being kind of buggy for him. I didn't experience any bugginess, I guess,
Yeah,
but
I haven't.
but
Well, in casual it was on OBS too, and then when he wanted to start doing his series, he started asking me questions about Streamlabs, and then
well,
he downloaded it and he kind of played around with it, and he found it better to use for his YouTube series,
and see, that's
and
maybe,
so he switched over too.
what I'm thinking too, is where I just want to have a, um oh, I don't know, I don't want to say professional, but more fancier, I guess, looking uh stream, maybe.
Alrighty.
Well, I guess I guess we can sleep till the corn's ready.
We'll look. We'll when we get back to the farm, we'll look at the
Okay.
contracts.
Or yeah, I guess I don't care either way.
I just the fields are a little bit smaller, so there isn't quite as many big contracts. I don't know where I'm gonna park these plows.
Yeah, I guess I kind of back it into that one next to the wagon there. I guess. There. Whoa. That's not too far. There. Actually, that'll work. There. You can still get the wagon out. Alright. But, well, actually, I could just, depending on what we're going to do, I might need to just back that up to that.
Okay, what do we got for contracts?
Well, I guess that's the fertilizer. Okay.
Not really anything. Okay.
Actually, while we're doing that, let's look at things. Actually, maybe I'll adjust this just a little.
Headers over here.
Oh. Let me see if that helps something. Offload a little bit from the GPU. Okay. And okay, hang on here. Oh, okay. Okay, the wagon's in here. Okay. I'll use that tractor I was just using.
I sent you the first picture of the golf ball marker today.
Oh yeah, I did look at it.
And then I messed around with it a little bit more and took some of the lines out, and eventually I got working.
Oh, okay.
So now it's completely working. So on Monday I'll plan on sending you the file. I think if I remember right, I sent them as a step last time, didn't I?
Yeah, an STL. Yeah.
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 And I also remembered the crossbones didn't quite work very well, so I kind of opened up in between them.
Well,
a little bit.
That was it. Is it just needed a little bit more, and you know what? I know a little bit more now than I did then. I could adjust. Well, I have a smaller nozzle, and I could do that too. It's just when things get